So here's our breeding update for the day. This is Rocky, who is definitely breeding with Gidget. I'm so excited I could just die. Let's see. Next Tuesday is supposed to be the first hatch date for Sprite and Fluffy's 4 eggs. If it's anything like what's going on with all the other birds, it won't happen that day. It will happen 2 or 3 days later. Miss Cinnamon here, so I've been looking at and asking myself, is that an egg bump? Does she have an egg bump? Definitely has an egg bump. So finally, it appears that something might happen here. I just re-trimmed Hardy's vent because they've been in here for so long, his feathers were growing back. So yeah, did you see him put his foot on her wing? Yes, sir. And that rock noise that he's making is a I want to breed noise. Let's see who else is in here. Hedwig, who would like to kill me. There's her Verde, is in the nest, and without me even noticing, she has 2 eggs. Where is she? There she is. She's not moving, of course. She's on 2 eggs already. Wow, speed of light. This is Sparky, and the bad news is, when I looked through the nest earlier, one of the eggs had cracked, and it was completely infertile. Still just a yolk visible inside of the egg. So she's left with 5 eggs, and as I've been looking at them, I've been going, you know, they're too translucent. Eggs have a kind of a translucent tint when they're first laid, and for probably the first week or more of incubation, but eventually they start looking solid because they have a chick inside of them. So they lose that translucence. And I've been looking at her eggs going, they all look translucent to me still, and they should, you know, if they're supposed to be hatching, they should all be looking solid. So that one tells me that they're probably infertile. However, one of those eggs does not look like the others. It is becoming solid. And of course, one of the eggs in there is from somebody else. So it may be that is the only one that's going to hatch, and these two will end up bringing up a chick that is of somebody else's making. It will be a pretty little blue or violet chick with 2 great big green birds. But that's okay. That is a low stress, low energy way for them to breed, and you know, once they're done, I'll put them out in the big flight and leave them out there until May. That means that Scruffy and Luscious in the kitchen, who are waiting for a nest box, are going to continue to wait, because I'm pretty sure that the reason these eggs are not fertile is because of Sparky's treatment with calcium. So I'm going to make Scruffy and Luscious wait probably a month, because it was at least, it was at least 2 or 3 weeks before I brought these 2 back in here again to breed, and he still wasn't fertile. So that does not bode well. Now, I could be wrong. It's happened before. If we get 1 chick, I will lay money that it's going to come out blue and be genetically somebody else's baby. If we get 2 chicks, that means that there was some fertility there, because I only traded in 1 egg. So if a second chick hatches, then that means there was something happening. I'm certainly not going to touch her. She is determined to sit on those eggs, and I will happily let her do that. However, the fact that 1 egg was completely infertile is not a good sign, and it's not a good sign for Jester and Sky here either, because Jester and Sky are just a week behind them, and Jester was treated with the same stuff. So it's possible that his eggs will be infertile too. The other birds that were treated are Beryl here and Sprite. I mean, that's not Sprite. That is Razzle. Beryl and Razzle were also treated at the same time with a full calcium treatment, but they have delayed breeding. Their hens are only just now starting to lay eggs. Razzle's Lilith started laying about 6 days ago, and Beryl's Rainbow started laying about 4 days ago. So they are a full 3 weeks behind. Oh, look at that. Good news. I always like it when I catch them breeding. That's Hedwig and Verde. Caught you breeding. Fertile eggs. That's the rules. Anyway, so these guys waited a full 3 more weeks before they started breeding and laying eggs. So there's every possibility that they are past the infertility. So that would be good news. Sprite was never treated with anything, so he and Fluffy should be fine. And also, Rocky was treated, but again, I'm just seeing them put it together. They've only been in here for a week. I think that they are starting to breed. I just saw some, I couldn't even tell you exactly what it is. There's just a behavioral aura around birds that are starting to breed. And I think I see it here. So I just pulled him out and trimmed him again, too. And her, to make sure they have every opportunity. So, really, the only birds that went through treatment and are close, and rushed into breeding again is Jester and Sky. I'll be really disappointed if their eggs are infertile. But such is life. I'll just do the same thing with them as I'm going to do with these two. The thing about Jester and Sky is I've never gotten a fertile eggs out of them because this is only their second shot at it. And it's still, the calcium is messing them up. But there's also the possibility that, hey, maybe that 1 week that they were behind the others, actually I think it's almost 10 days, is what it took for him to get past the infertility. But I have not ever seen them breed, so I don't know. But I did see these guys breed, and it didn't make any difference, so I don't know. We'll see. Meanwhile, over here, you have to see this. This just cracks me up, just when I think I know what I'm talking about. This is Royal and Matilda, who had one baby. He's 10 days old today and going to get his band. He's huge and fat and spoiled, and she's been sitting on, I think 5 other eggs. One of them I pulled yesterday because it was dried out, and I candled it to make sure, and it was half empty, so that clearly was not gonna hatch. But I was like, okay, 10 days, no other chicks. She's been sitting them all at the same time. There's no way anything's gonna hatch, right? So I look in there this morning just to see how everything's going, and we got, are you gonna let us see? Another baby. Can you see that little tiny thing in there? And she's still sitting on 3 more eggs. You just never know. I'd show you Breezy, but she just never lets me see anything. She's being very defensive at the moment, so she's due to have another chick hatch, so it's possible it did hatch. And Hyacinth still has 2 babies and an egg, but that's fine. That egg looks very solid to me, but I don't know. We'll see. It could hatch. Matilda just taught me once again, if a hen is sitting on eggs, don't take them. So what's happening with Matilda? I have no freaking idea. How is the first chick that hatched fertile and the last egg fertile? Because presumably those 3 eggs in there were the ones that were supposed to hatch in between these 2 chicks. She laid one every 2 days. So why would the first egg and the last egg be fertile and the ones in the middle not be? I don't know. It's crazy. All right, so, but I'm not going to take those eggs. She's still sitting on them. They're solid, and they don't look like they're dried out. So maybe she's going to go ahead and hatch them all out. I don't know. Who knows? It's a mystery. Although I have to say, I'm beginning to wonder about this whole 19-day incubation period. Because it's so random, the way these chicks can hatch the way the hens sit on them, the order that they hatch in is so random that it's like, I'm not sure, but that their incubation period isn't a little more flexible than one might think. So I don't know. But anyway, good news. We got another baby out of Royal and Matilda.